Hello class, it's so good to see you today. I'm Miss Hemmer, and I'm just so overjoyed to have such wonderful, enthusiastic students in my class today. This is English 1A, and we're going to be talking about writing skills and how you can make them better. It's often called diction, but that really doesn't mean the spoken word, but the written word in literature. So this is what I'm going to teach you today is how to write better, word usage, and how to describe sentences in a way that'll make your writing not only good, but superior to all the other students. So we'll get started. Of course, the goal at the end of this is going to be that you will be able to do what I just said, to write better, to make really great sentences that will make people want to read your writing and help you become more professional. So that's the objectives. I'll give you some exercise at the end of this lesson that will help with that. But first of all, I want to describe this to you and let you know what I'm talking about. The power of words are very important because words have such depth and meaning. If you really love words, do you love words, class?
Yes.
All right, that's a start. If you love, do you like to read?
Yes.
That's another great beginning. Okay, great. So the power of words are so important, and that's what this is all about. They can make you think and feel powerful emotions. Here's examples of that. Joy and sorrow. She felt great joy when she saw him. Can you relate to that sentence?
Yes.
Okay. And sorrow. The girl sat down on the grass and cried after her mother scolded her. Has this ever happened to either of you when you were little kids or at any time when your parents got after you? Well, joy and sorrow are two emotions that are very powerfully described with words. Words create all that. Or they're supposed to be written well. Okay, we'll go on. Fear. The woman was alone in the big house and suddenly heard a loud noise downstairs. Does that frighten you?
Yeah. Yes.
Imagine the lady now, she's alone. This is not actually using anything else but words to describe this scene. You had to visualize it. So imagine a lady alone, suddenly there's a noise, and it's supposed to make you feel what she's feeling, fear. That emotion can be very strong, and people reading a book want to know what they're reading and feel that, and if you can feel it, the writer's done a good job. Inspiration can happen too with good writing. The sun came up in brilliant splendor as she woke up from a night of weeping. This is a new day, a new beginning. It's make you feel kind of hopeful with the ideas and the imagery in that sentence. Okay, good. I'm glad you're getting kind of the idea. We'll go on with classic examples from literature. Now, this is a real professional, Emily Bronte. You've probably all heard of Wuthering Heights, Heathcliff and Cathy, the classic love story. This is actually from the novel by Emily Bronte. This is a very descriptive sentence, kind of like the ones I had before that were written by me, actually, to give you as examples. These are from the real literary genius. On that bleak hilltop, the earth was hard with a black frost, and the air made me shiver through every limb. Does that make you feel that you're really up there?
Shiver.
Yeah, and the black frost, you see that. That's what she's writing. She's painting a picture with words. Powerful words in a dialogue. What you can mean, or what can you mean by talking in this way to me, thundered Heathcliff with savage vehemence. Can you imagine Heathcliff talking like that to somebody? Can you see him and visualize this man in some way? How he's feeling. This is the emotional part I'm talking about. And these are some of the most poignant words I've ever read in a book, and they were also put into the movie. I cannot live without my life. I cannot live without my soul. Changed the movie version. This is a script that they decided wasn't what they wanted. This is another form of writing, screenwriting. Charles MacArthur and Ben Heck decided they were going to change those words around to make it a little bit more meaningful for the movie version with Laurence Olivier and Meryl Oberon. The screenwriters decided they would write it this way, not the way it was in the book. And they stopped at chapter 40 or 20. They wanted to write it like that. I cannot live without my life. I cannot die without my soul. Now, for some reason they decided to change it to cannot die without my soul. That the soul and death to them were more interchangeable and better. Okay, they changed that around. People often rewrite things, a little liberty for the movie. And now we're going to this. Suppose I change what you just read to a simplified version about the hilltop, with all the frost on the top and how bleak it was. But change to that. I saw some frost on the hilltop. The air was cold. I felt very cold. Does that make you feel what you felt before when you read the first sentence from Wuthering Heights about the hilltop being kind of bleak? That's not in there anymore, is it?
No.
That's what most people would write. So I think the way she wrote it was probably more effective. I would definitely say so. And down below, when Heathcliff thundered out his response to the man, Simplify the way people write without all that description is, I don't like you to speak to me like that, Heathcliff replied. Does that move you as much as what she wrote when he said it, he thundered it out and with vehemence?
Right.
Okay, we'll go on. Word usage. Now these are things I don't want you to ever do, class. First day of school, I went to talk about this because I've heard a lot on campus and different campuses where I've taught. He has it somewhere as one of them. The one above really bothers me. Well, anyways, I hear this more than the other one, actually. Well, anyways, as I was saying.
Anyways.
Yeah, anyways is not a correct English word. It's not even in the dictionary, and it's not supposed to be. So please don't do that, because people often write the way they talk. And if you use those words, get out of the habit now, because, well, anyways is not a good way to talk, and you wouldn't want to write a sentence with that word in it. He has it somewhere. It's not even in the dictionary. It's not a word. And I don't need no help is definitely wrong and bad grammar, right? You've got that already. Yeah. So not good, wrong, as I emphasize. Don't ever write that way, because it will make people think that you aren't that literate. And word usage is so important in English and writing. Okay, we'll go on. Word choices for better writing. All right, these are simplified words. I want a little interaction with this about what you would use in place of good. The food was good. Well, that's pretty basic. That's not much very descriptive, is it? The food was, fill in the blank.
Food was delicious.
There. Now we have a better description of what it was really like. It might have been bad, but you want a better word maybe than just good. Well, we say good there, but in place of good, what else would you use? Anybody else have any ideas? Fantastic food, delicious food. Now we're getting there, so you understand what I mean. It makes it sound more where you can actually smell the aromas almost, right. And you know what we're talking about. And you just say good. There's so many other words you can find. And you look in the dictionary, you might find more. It's a great exercise. The day was nice. All right, that doesn't say much. Doesn't tell us much about the day. The day was, it could be anything.
The day was beautiful.
Beautiful, that's a description I love. Okay, and anybody else have something?
Splendid.
Splendid day, wow, great. Beautiful and splendid. That makes people actually visualize this day. A nice day is all right to say. You can write simply, but that really describes it. Okay, now we'll go on to another classic novel that people know was a novel before it was a movie, Showboat. It's by Edna Ferber, and she wrote many, many wonderful stories that were made into movies. This is from the musical. So one word, short, simple sentences can be effective, what we just had, if it's described or follows something really meaningful. Sometimes one-word sentences work, as in this instance. Darling, I'm going away for a few weeks, and then it follows with that, not just a few lines below. She never saw him again. When I first read that, it made me cry, because it's so simply worded, and yet it has so much meaning. Just that, she never saw him again.
Makes it so final.
Yeah, it's final, and it's a period right after it, and that's it. Right. Now that's where simple wording can work and make you really feel moved. Okay, and this is something about Magnolia, that's descriptive writing at its finest by Edna Ferber. There is a magnolia ravenel on the upper deck of the Cotton Blossom Floating Palace Theater, silhouetted against sunset sky and water, tall, erect, indomitable. And that's the same lady whose husband had left her, in the previous sentence. But this is how it ends. And can you see all that, without watching the movie? Many people have. If you can visualize that through her writing, that's how they made the movie. Because they could visualize her words and see what words how they can make you feel, what they can make you see. Okay. Now, this is for a class activity, word choices. I just decided I would put these all together for a special activity. Well, I want you to write something to describe yourselves. I have some handouts for you that I will give to you with the same words on them. Using those words, I want you to create a very short essay, a couple of paragraphs, describing yourself. But just use those words. And they're here in the handout as well, so I'll give each of you one. All the class can have a handout, so you can take them home, look them over, and write an essay describing yourself using those words. It's an exercise teaching the practice of descriptive writing. When you've done that, I want you to try something really more interesting too. But here is one example of what you might do, first of all. I am pretty and intelligent are two of the words you could use to describe yourselves, using what I just gave you on the handout. I am handsome and slender, just using those words. Those are adjectives describing yourselves. If you want to use those words, are the ones in the hand I just showed you on the screen. So you can go back to that and use smart, happy, pretty, sad, intelligent, ambitious. Everybody know what ambitious means? Anybody have questions about the words? Always use a dictionary.
What does ambition mean?
Okay, it means to be very, actually, to want higher goals, a high achiever is a polite way of putting it, but not always in a good way. Ambition can mean to be self-seeking.
Okay.
So an ambitious person usually has definite goals, but is usually out to win a prize or be very successful in life. If you don't have ambition, it's not a bad thing, but ambitious people are usually people who want to get ahead, which can be good. Creative, temperamental, handsome, brave, kind. Those are the basic words. Anxious, short, tall, slender, petite. Petite is a little finer version of small for a woman, or usually for a woman, so you know young men out there. But those are the words I want you to use and see what you can do with them. Then, we'll go back. That's an example of what you will write. Your own essay describing your looks, how you think you see yourselves. And choose your own words. For that, I want you to write a descriptive sentence and not use mine anymore. Find your own. I am blank and blank. Fill in the blanks for me. And just find something that you find really descriptive about yourself, but think it through yourself and write it yourself, those sentences. And write that down in your notebooks so you know it's just simple. One sentence, I am blank and blank. And that's the way to learn how to look at words. Bonus points were given out for the descriptive sentence, the lake was, and so forth. So I want you to do that, and here's the actual bonus point one. For the second essay, actually I have both on here. I am, and the other one where it says, the blank, where you can describe what you think about yourselves based on your own choice of words. Now here bonus points, about 30 bonus points. We'll give out something about this. I decided I was going to give it to the class. Bonus point, descriptive sentence about the lake and what you think about it and how will you describe it using maybe 3 words. I put 3 places there. The lake was, and maybe something about the lake, maybe a mountain surrounding the lake or hills. The lake was something and something. That's a little bit tough. You don't have to do it, but for extra points, try it and see what you can do with it. If you don't want to turn in, you don't have to. There's no pressure about that. So, any questions about any of this?
So when did you say the essay was due?
Oh, it's due actually a week from today. So this is a Wednesday, so 1 week from now gives you plenty of time to think it out. And I don't want to have any pressure about it. This is your first assignment.
Right.
Okay, so that's your descriptive writing assignment, and I missed you, so here are your forms. So, any more questions? Anybody have anything you want to say or add to the lesson plan discussions we've had? Anything about words before we have to leave for the next class to begin? The next other people coming in for class 2.
On the word choices for class activity. We make sentences from the word here on the form.
Yes, the words that I gave you are make an essay.
Also to make.
Right. Those are the word choices I gave you on the handout, and use those to make your first essay describing yourselves.
Okay.
I might make it simple for you by not making you choose the words this time, but to actually choose the words for you.
Okay.
And then this one gets a little more like that. Those are from the choices. And then here is a little bit difficult. We're actually going to go out and find your own words to describe yourselves. We're going to start slowly and then build up to the point where you actually can find your own words. You do a great job, so I know you can do it. And you too, you're all very talented. And I'm very encouraged today by what you've responded, your responses and everything. So the bonus point one, as I said, you don't have to do it, but do it as an exercise. You don't want to turn it in, fine, but you'll get 30 extra points after I look at it.
30 extra
Okay, so yes, I just encourage you to try it because it's a little bit difficult. It's about a lake. You can put mountains about the lake. The lake was, I'm not going to give you anything, or there was a beautiful lawn, or there was grass, or trees, whatever you want to say, rocks. I'm giving you some ideas, but that's okay. It's your first time, but whatever you can put in, I want to see how descriptively you can write. It's bonus points if you do it, and it's a little bit tougher. And it's tough the first time you haven't done that kind of descriptive writing. Okay. So any more questions from anybody? Okay, we have to go because our time is about up. So the next class is coming in, And I want to thank you so much. I've enjoyed talking to you the first day of class. It's been really great. You're a great group. And I enjoy meeting you. Thank you so much for coming and joining us today for the class. And
I enjoyed the class.
being on time always means a lot, and I really enjoy talking to you and all the things you had to say. Okay, great.